So I just walked out of the Rise of Skywalker, or TROS as the internet is calling it, and I'm not really sure what I feel about it at this current moment. I know it's not complete levels of utter satisfaction. All I know is that it feels like I'm still ingesting the leftover lasagna and my stomach is trying to figure out if it likes it or not, or if I'm gonna need a bathroom in a hot minute. But since I'm a really small creator and I want to put out one video of it before the market becomes completely saturated and I go on break for the holidays, I figure I'd make a video on the one thing I was dead certain about in this movie. Rose Tico was wasted. I know there's so many other things you could be talking about in this movie, but I do want to shine a light on this particular thing because I don't feel that many other people are really talking about it. And just for some backstory, I know this is gonna sound really bad to those who really love the Rose character, but I honestly didn't care for her that much in The Last Jedi. She was such a non-character to me in so many ways. Oh god. This and my H3 versus K-pop stans video is gonna make me look like I hate my own people. But I genuinely think the plot line she had in The Last Jedi was such a big issue that I just couldn't. Seriously, nothing on the actress, it's not the actress's fault. Like, if you are a person who bullied her or harassed her online, you can seriously just crawl up Kathleen Kennedy's ass and stay there until she shars. I just don't believe in bullying the actors for a bad script. There's just nothing they could have done about it. Like, if Mark freaking Hamill couldn't get Rian Johnson to reconsider what he was doing with Luke Skywalker, there's nothing a newcomer to the story could ever do. So I think she did the best she could with what she had, and it was just the plot line she was involved in was the problem in itself. The reason I just kind of didn't care about her character that much in The Last Jedi was because she essentially had very little to do with the contribution to the plot. She had very little romance chemistry with Finn, and she had this whole scene that was pretty much just a contradiction to what happened before.
That's how we're gonna win. Not fighting what we hate. Saving what we love.
Wait. Weren't we just praising the purple-haired lady for being purple-haired and sacrificing herself to save the band of good guys? What are you trying to go for, Johnson? What? Essentially, I just agree with a lot of these other videos that critiqued Rose's character, and I know that might not be the audience that is watching this video, but that's just how I felt. I felt like she could have been a better character if she was going to be included, but that's The Last Jedi, and that's what we got. So considering I didn't love her character in The Last Jedi, I should be happy that she was sidelined in TROS, right? No, not really. In The Rise of Skywalker, JJ Abrams did exactly what Rian Johnson did in The Last Jedi. In The Force Awakens, Abrams introduced us to our core characters, Rey, Finn, Poe, and Kylo Ren. In The Last Jedi, Rian Johnson basically said, I like Kylo and Rey, but Finn and Poe, not so much. He gave Poe a non-story about infighting and the world's slowest car chase in space, and then he gives Finn a non-story about going to a casino planet and hacking the evil people's spaceship. But in the process, introduced Rose, who Rian Johnson super loved, and gave her the high moral pedestal in politics.
There's only one business in the galaxy that'll get you this rich. I wish I could put my fist through this whole lousy, beautiful town.
The really sad thing about this was that Finn and Poe never really got to develop as characters in The Last Jedi because of this. And in TROS, it's like Abrams brought the dream team back together, which was honestly a good move. But it's like he took revenge also by sidelining Rose. Whether it's from the fan reaction or even Abrams' own vision, I think this was a mistake. She could have easily been integrated into the team and added to the camaraderie. In both instances, it would have been better if both directors understood, okay, maybe these aren't personally my favorite characters, but they're here and they matter. This is one of the many reasons I believe the new trilogy is one of the most Frankenstein trilogies I've ever seen put to screen. To me, The Last Jedi is pretty low on the totem pole, and there were things in Rise of Skywalker that kinda had to be maneuvered because Rian Johnson had dug the second movie into such a corner it didn't lend itself to additional storytelling. So things like making Rey's lineage important again or finding a new baddie, they kinda had to be done. Though I heavily disagree with bringing Palpatine back, but I will save that for another video. Otherwise we're gonna be here forever. But despite all of that, they could have done better by Rose. Again, Rose is not the most glaring problem in The Rise of Skywalker, But I figure bigger channels would be covering the bigger things anyway, the ones that know a lot about the Star Wars lore, while I'm just like kind of a casual fan, barely, you know? And I just like to see some continuity in a trilogy. That's basically all I want. And personally, I wanted to talk about this because I think this is one of the most glaring examples of how Frankenstein this trilogy became. It seems to be that Rian Johnson wasn't exactly happy with the characters that he was inheriting, so he introduced one of his own. In turn, either due to fan backlash or his own vision, JJ Abrams sidelined a character that he inherited to focus on his original set. I feel like I can safely say that adding Rose to the Millennium Falcon space adventure thing in the beginning, or the beaded hippie planet thing, wouldn't have hurt the story at all. That would have at least provided us a good idea of where Finn and Rose were after all this time. Am I asking for them to get together? No, please, do not confuse the two. All I'm asking for is a bit of closure on a character that we spent an amount of time with in The Last Jedi. Instead, we get a scene that goes like this. Hey. It's like she got ghosted, but since they're still part of the same team, Rebel Alliance or whatever, that they still are forced to talk to each other once in a while. And it's super awkward. Yes. Okay, I already know that this movie is holy Jesus shit's long, but I don't think adding her to the beginning adventure scenes and at least like getting a good sense of their characters and the way their character dynamics would have added that much to the runtime at all. And by doing that, it would have shown at least a little bit more continuity between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. Even if they sidelined her because of fan reaction or JJ Abrams' vision, it doesn't really matter which. The point is that the problems that were perpetuated in The Last Jedi are still being perpetuated here. The director just had their favorites and focused on those, which sidelined the ones that they inherited, even though those inherited characters played huge parts in the previous installment. Honestly, there's not much to say about Rose's character in The Rise of Skywalker beyond that she was essentially given nothing. Regardless if you liked her or not, and even if it didn't make a whole lot of sense, you could tell that Rose had a sister that she loved. She had reverence for the resistance fighters, and she had beliefs that she strongly held onto. With all that established, it should have been easy for The Rise of Skywalker to include her more in the story. And yeah, why not stick it to the outrage and say, hey, maybe it's not her character you didn't like, but the part that she was given in the pointless casino planet and splitting up Finn and Poe. But here, she's back and helping them on the Millennium Falcon and helping them check out the hippie planet. She's not being incapable and annoying anymore. That's better, isn't it? Again, this isn't the biggest problem with TROS, and if you think I'm being a little ridiculous making a whole video about this, I think it highlights one of the most glaring aspects of how directionless this trilogy could have been. It's like if they couldn't really even figure out how to put the easy pieces together, how can you really expect them to put the more complex and intricate character arcs together? I have a feeling I'm kind of alone in this sentiment, since I know there are many people that just do not like Rose, and I know there are many people that would have very much preferred that they never saw her face again, so this is a win for them. But looking back, I really start to think that it's not so much her character we didn't like as much as we did not like her entire plotline. And because she was such an integral part of that plotline, the hate for that plot just kind of seeped into her as a character too. But going into the third movie, you kind of have to roll with it, right? Because technically she had more to do in The Last Jedi than Poe ever did. The director of TROS said he was going to go ahead with a lot of the plot lines that Rian Johnson had threaded in. So this should have been a progression of that. He should have given Rose the respect that Johnson never really gave Finn and Poe. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out if the lasagna is going to come out the front door or the back door. All I know is that they really shouldn't have sidelined Rose the way they did. Considering all that she was given to do in The Last Jedi, they really should have given her a little bit more than just, hey, you coming with us? Nah. Alright, cool. Just a little bit more than that would have been nice. So yes, I'm sure YouTube is being bombarded with Star Wars stuff at the moment. So if you really like this video, please give it a huge thumbs up. Or if you have any comments, agree or disagree about what I'm saying with Rose, that's totally fine. I genuinely want to hear your opinion because I don't think enough people are kind of talking about this. I understand why, by the way. It's not a huge part of the movie. But I think it's really important to talk about some of the things that they could have easily made an easy fix to, but couldn't. The bigger problems require more of a sledgehammer and drywall, right? But the smaller problems, this could have easily been a band-aid fix. I know the conversation right now is pretty much dominated by, oh my god, the movie was amazeballs, or oh my god, the movie sucks balls. But hey, this is Star Wars. What else is new?